Hare Krishna. Do you know what is the devotion? What is a bhakti? How does it take place in the heart of anyone? Today we will know about the Narada, who is a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and how his devotion started, what he was, how did he find his path of spirituality. Let's start. Long ago, there was the Gandharva, known as Upabrahana. Gandharvas are a category of devatas in heaven who are beautiful and skillful in singing. They live on their planet called Gandharva Loka. Upabrahana was very handsome with attractive face and well-built body. The other Gandharvas respected him. He was an expert in the decorating himself with garland, sandalwood pulp, cosmetics and ornament. He was most pleasing to the women of his city. Once the resident of heaven organized a spiritual gathering to glorify the Supreme Lord Krishna. All categories of devatas, including the Gandharvas and Apsaras, were invited to take part in it. Upabrahana went for his spiritual event surrounded by many women. Unfortunately, instead of glorifying the Supreme God Krishna or Vishnu, he became intoxicated and started singing mundane songs inappropriate for occasion. The member of the festival became upset with his behavior. The Prajapati, who observed the affair of the universe, cursed him. You need to be punished for your misbehavior. May you become a low-class person, devoid of beauty. Thus, Upabrahana fell to the earth planet from the elevated heavens. He was deprived of his exalted position as a Gandharva and took birth as the son of a maidservant on the earth. He lost his beauty, for which he was so proud. What happened to the Upabrahana after he fell from the earth? Would he get an opportunity to risk back? Let us find out. As a result of curse, Upabrahana took birth as the only son of a maidservant. He was simple, poor, and uneducated, yet she was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to serve noble-hearted Brahmanas. She did menial service for the maintenance of herself and her child. She had no other relative apart from her only son. She bound him with the tie of great affection. She wanted to look after the boy maintenance properly, but because she was so poor and dependent, so she could not do much for the child. The boy was so dependent on his mother's affection and had no experience of different lands or people. He always believed that she would never leave him. When the boy was just 5 years old, he and his mother lived in the Brahmanas school. Once, some great sages called the Bhakti Vedantas came there. They were learned in the Vedas and were devoid of sin. They were pure devotees of Lord Krishna. They decided to stay at the place during the 4 months of rainy season. At this time, both the maidservant and her son rendered their various service. When the Bhakti Vedantas were discussing the pastime of Lord Krishna, the boy would attentively hear them. Thus, his love for God increased gradually. Just as some diseases are contagious, bhakti is also contagious in a good sense. In the association of Bhakti Vedantas, the boy became infected with their purity and developed all good qualities and especially bhakti onto Krishna. The boy was disciplined, humble, and obedient to the elders. He had no attachment to frivolous sport. He was not naughty or talkative. The sages were impressed with his conduct and blessed him. Although the boy was very young, the son of the maidservant and uneducated, he still became a great devotee of Lord Krishna. Slowly, he became greatly attracted to the path of bhakti, which constitutes hearing about Krishna, chanting his name, and remembering him. Devotion to the God cannot be attained by age, caste, wealth, beauty, scholarship, and other material qualities, but can easily be achieved by the blessings of pure devotees. The boy fixed his mind on Lord Krishna steadily and engaged his body in the service the Lord in the various ways. For example, he bowed down in the front of the Lord and his devotee, carried a water pot with his hand, heard about the Lord with his ears, and so on. Thus, his ignorance was fully destroyed and he became enlightened in the Krishna consciousness. Thus, during the monsoon and autumn, in the association of the Bhakti Vedantas, the boy developed prema or love for Krishna, the ultimate aspiration of all living beings. When the sages were about to depart, they mercifully taught him Srimad Bhagavatam and initiated him in the path of bhakti. After the sages left, an unexpected difficulty came in the boy's life. What was that? Let us know. After the departure of the great sages, the boy continued to live with his mother. He was overwhelmed with the stroke of inspiration he had just received in their wonderful company. He continued to meditate on their noble teaching. One day, an unexpected incident happened in the boy's life. His poor mother went out of the house to milk a cow in the evening. While walking along the path, she touched a snake with her foot, and the snake bit her leg. She died on the spot, and thus the boy lost his affectionate mother, his only caretaker. The boy was mature enough to see the hand of God even in this tragic incident. He thought, the Lord is the supreme well wisher of his devotees. It is his mercy alone by which I am put in this situation. So he decided to travel towards the north because the boy's mother served the Bhakti Vedantas. The Lord must have given her a good destination, and her son was now fully kept under the shelter of a Lord. Although devotees sometimes faces difficulties in life, they don't give up their faith in the protection of the Lord. The boy passed alone through many cities, towns, villages, farms, mines, agriculture, land, valleys, gardens, forests, hills, and mountains. He got an im- impetus in the spiritual life and did not waste time for a single moment. He continuously meditated on the Lord Krishna during his travel. He came upon the relax field with beautiful lotus flowers surrounded by the bees and singing birds. He traveled through huge, fearsome forest dense with reeds, cane, clumps of grass, and hollow bamboos, the playground for snake, owl, and jackal. Still, he was not fearful, as he constantly depended on the Lord. Thus, traveling, he felt tired both bodily and mentally. He was both thirsty and hungry. He saw a river, took a bath in it, and drank some water. He was thus relieved from exhaustion. He sat under the shade of a big banyan tree. He then began to meditate upon Lord Krishna with a great love. He fully concentrated his mind on the Paramatma or the super soul situated within the heart as taught to him by the sages. While a boy meditated on the Lord with great emotion and love, tears fell from his eyes and Lord Krishna appeared in his heart. The boy could experience the fragrance of Krishna's body, the sound of the Krishna ankle bell, and the beauty of the Krishna's face. He was thus he was thus absorbed in as an ocean of joy and was covered with the goosebumps. While in such a bliss, he suddenly lost the vision of the Lord. He could not see the attractive form of Lord Krishna any more in his meditation. He was agitated from the sorrow of separation. He became despondent, like someone who had lost an invaluable treasure. He desired to see the Lord repeatedly and tried to meditate with the great eagerness but couldn't see the Lord. He was the dissatisfied and very much aggrieved. Just as the sun rises on its own will, similarly the Lord also reveals himself to us only when he wants. Pleased by seeing the boy's attempts in that lonely place, Lord Krishna mercifully spoke to him and encouraged him. The Lord said, "In this body you cannot see me anymore. I am invisible to those who are incomplete in the service and who still have impurities. I showed myself to you once just to increase your desire to see me more. By seeing my devotees and me, even for a few days, one attains firm devotion for me. You will soon become my associate in the spiritual world after giving up the present body." Then the Lord stopped speaking. Since then, the boy repeatedly chanted the Lord's holy name. He traveled in this world, being satisfied, humble, and non envious. In due the course of time, he was absorbed in the Lord Krishna and became detached from all the material tents and met with death. Quitting the material body, he received a spiritual body, befitting as associate of the Lord. In his next life, he became the great sage Narada, a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. In the next creation, when the Lord Brahma was creating the universe, this body appeared as the son of Brahma. In a spiritual body, he was called the Narada Muni, the best among the sages. The Lord gifted him a musical instrument called Veena. While playing the Veena, Narada travels unrestrictedly both in the spiritual and material worlds, singing about the Lord and spreading the path of bhakti. As soon as he chants, the Lord at once appears in the heart, as if called for. Narada Muni is a great teacher of bhakti and is a guru of several devotee kings like Dhruva, Prahalada, and others. Thank you. That's for all today. I hope you would like this story. Thank you.